Yeah. Thanks. I don't even know how long I could do this for, to be honest, trying to hold it together. Smoking, well, she comes from Long Island, New York. She loved Long Island. One of the things that she wanted, hey Boomer, Josh, everybody, thank you. One of the things she wanted so bad was to go back to Long Island one more time. So that's where she'll be going. So if I have to jump off the screen, guys, it's just because I'm having a hard time. So, you know, I honestly have nobody in reality. I mean, so I figured it didn't hurt. Just come on, thank everybody for all their condolences, and yeah, her favorite place in the world was Montauk Point off of Long Island. Smoking gnomes. Well, Long Island's a nice place. It's turned into one of those rich places. You gotta have a ton of money now to live down there. But in the summer and that's got great beaches and everything. The winters suck now, but you know it happens so fast though. I mean, she just wasn't feeling right, and I knew something wasn't right, and I called 911. Well, actually, my mom's friend that lives right over here called 911 because I couldn't. I was trying to focus on mom, but we were all in the same room, and she called 911, and they came, and they got, she was all right. She was complaining. She was fine. She didn't want to go to the ER. And they put her in the transport chair to take her from her bedroom outside in where they had the gurney at the top of the ramp. They put her in the gurney. She was complaining the whole time. Down the ramp, outside the ambulance. She was fine. She didn't want to go. She didn't, she was just feeling a little sick. And they got her on the ambulance, and she was gone. I mean, it was literally that fast. The doctors say they think it was a heart attack caused by heart failure because she's been fighting heart failure for a while now. So that was their impression. We're still waiting for the post results. I can't even bring myself to say the word, but so that's where it's at now. I'm still struggling to, honestly, guys, people call me e-beggar or whatever, it's the truth. I'm struggling like crazy to cover all the costs of everything. I'm literally selling everything in the house just to try to pay for everything. It sucks. The New York State death benefit is $340. What is that, People need help in times like this, and that's what we get. So it's been a struggle, trying to come up with everything I need to deal with all the final costs. My uncle was kind enough to cover the rest of what was needed for cremation. We're only doing a 2-hour service on Sunday because that's all we can afford. I mean, it's insane. But there's still so many things that have to be covered. It's ridiculous. It's still stupid. YouTube sends you an email saying you're live. I don't know I'm live. I mean, I'm trying to take comfort in the fact that, she's been struggling for the last few years really bad. You know, she's been fighting diabetes. You know, she had 2 bouts of sepsis. So it has been really, really hard for her. And she hung on. She was a fighter. No matter what. I mean, she lost her leg and she was still fighting. Doing the best she could. Well, thank you, Lanley. She was doing the best she could just to stay here. For, you know, my health hasn't been the greatest, so she was always trying to cheer me up. And, of course, be there for the grandkids. So, you know, people keep saying she just wanted to see me turn 40 to know that I made it to 40 years old, and which was, you know, 2 days before she passed. And I mean, I don't know how true that is, but it's kind of like, if that's the case, I wish I never turned 40. I really do. Honestly. You know, many of you guys have been there to help. I'm sorry, guys. It's just hard. You know, many of you guys have been there for me and for her, and I appreciate it. She made it 60 years. You know, and, you know, the very final request is she wants half of her ashes to be put out in the ocean at Montauk Point, and the other half to be buried with her parents. And I'm grateful that my uncle is going to take care of that. I don't even know if he watches my channel, but I'm very grateful for the help he's been trying to give. It's very hard. Everybody says stay strong. It's so hard. I can only hope that she truly is in a better place. I mean, every morning I've been waking up, you know, there was certain routines I did with her every day. Changing bandages, making sure she took her medication. So all these routines I got used to doing with her. And now it's like I'm at a loss. I'm telling you guys, if if your parents are still with you, hug them. Keep them close. It's, it's funny because, like, all my life, my mom cut my hair. You know, it's silly things like that. Like, I've never paid for a haircut in my life. Anytime I needed a haircut, I'd go to mom's house and she would cut my hair for me. Or, now she had her cats that it's like I have a hard time just looking at her cats now. Thank you, Alabama. It is. It is. It's just, some things are just, it's so surreal. The things that people do when somebody passes, like, I mean, I'm not going to go into all kinds of details of what I've been dealing with, but just suffice it to say, certain family members, thank you, Huckleberry, you know, well, certain family member has been causing a lot of issues. And it's like, my mom she wasn't rich. She had nothing. It's like, why would you come? It's just so frustrating. And that's what pissed me off really bad, was the morning it happened, like I said, they got her on the ambulance and she crashed. And they called for assistance. And all of a sudden, a second ambulance showed up, and the fire department showed up, and then 3 cop cars pull up. And I'm flipping out there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? They wouldn't let me on the ambulance. They wouldn't let me see her. They closed all the doors, and they were working on her. And freaking cops come up to me, and they don't even know what's going on yet. All they know is there's somebody in the ambulance. They start questioning me like some lunatic. And I'm like, I mean, I understand they got a job to do. I get that. 911 was called. I get that. But they blocked me from even getting in the ambulance to ride with her to the hospital. And I told them, I said, I don't have a car. I need to ride with her. And they blocked me from going there, and they took her. And I was calling everybody, telling all of her friends, acquaintances, anybody. I'm like, look, mom's in the hospital. I don't know what's going on. Can you come pick me up? And nobody, people were at work and stuff, and they couldn't just come get me and go. So by the time I was able to get there, it was all over. And I mean, I'll never forget that cop. Never forget him and never forgive him. Why would you block somebody from getting in an ambulance to ride with their mother? I don't care about the circumstances. I'm sitting here going nuts, freaking out, and they would not let me on the ambulance. He was blocking the hell out of me. And, hey, Pink. I just don't understand. I mean, like I said, she wasn't even gone at that point, really. They were still working on her. They were taking her to the hospital. So why? They didn't even know what was going on, and they still blocked me. And then when the ambulance left, they left. They scattered and left like it was nothing. I was literally left standing in the driveway by myself. Everybody was gone. The ambulance drove away. The fire department left. All the cops left. And that was it. They left me standing there. I'm like, you guys just blocked me from getting in the ambulance to ride with my mother, and just to question me because 911 was called, and then leave me there standing there. And they didn't offer me a ride or nothing. It just, I don't get it. Why would you do that? They could have just asked the EMTs. She was just talking to them. It's, Thank you, Urban Gypsy. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just out of it. I mean, I've been trying to deal with this alone, and, Pink Camera Magic and Landley and have been, talking to me offline and trying to help me through this, and I really appreciate it. You know, my mom has been part of this community by, vicariously through me for several years now. I would tell her all about what was going on, who would have been out auditing, what happened to them, and she always listened, and in a way, she always used to tell me she didn't want me out auditing because she didn't want me to get arrested, and she didn't want me to have to deal with any of that. But at the same time, she started coming around to the whole idea of auditing because when she was a kid, they really focused on Constitution in school. And when she found out my kids weren't being taught the Constitution, she got so frustrated. Uh, it's funny. I mean, I'd bet anything at this point because Mom, I like I said, I talked to her about all of it, and I bet if I could have got her to go out auditing with me if she was healthy enough to, she probably would. Just because she started to come around to the whole idea of how bad it really is. She watched all these cop shows like Live PD and stuff, and um, she would start going, "Wait a minute, doesn't that go against their Fourth Amendment, Brian? Brian, is that a violation of their First Amendment?" She actually started talking like that. It's kind of funny. And it was great to see her actually starting to absorb that stuff, and she started pointing out things on Live PD like that. That's illegal. They shouldn't be doing that. It was really funny, and it was great. It was great to watch because it kept her happy and entertained. She was bedridden most of the time, so. Oh God. Great dude. Hey man, thanks. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I haven't lost anybody close, like a family member, since I was like 9 years old when my grandpa died, which was my mother's father, and that was the last time I had to deal with anything like this, and I was a kid then. So like I'm totally at a loss trying to figure all this out. I mean, unfortunately, we were nowhere near as prepared for this as we should have been. Pink, we're still waiting for the post, the official post, but her doctor, like I said, he said it was a heart attack caused by heart failure. I mean, about 2 weeks ago now, she had gone to the hospital to get a blood transfusion because her blood count was so low, and they were trying to figure out why. And we were talking about her going back to the hospital, getting a bunch of tests run and all that, just so they could figure out exactly what to do. And I mean, literally, she had just gotten an email from her PCP the day before that said, "You really need to go back to the hospital, Pat. Something's not right. Your cardiologist thinks you're going through heart failure." Which, if you read about it, there's a lot of different kinds of heart failure, and it can take years before it does anything. But they think it was just a combination of the way her health has been, and just her body has been through so much in such a short period of time. And she just couldn't fight. She was done fighting. Oh, God. I do want to say thanks to everybody that has tried to help. You know, people have made calls, people have made donations, people have just been there for me to talk to. I never would have thought it would be this hard. And what amazes me is just how callous everything is. You know, I mean, hey, shut down, sorry. Thanks, man. Her cardiologist office called me yesterday asking when they were getting her heart monitor back. Like, really? You know, are you serious? It was like all I could do not to scream at the lady on the phone. Or even, you know, the hospital, they're calling. The other day they were calling, they were like, so you're going to tell us where we're sending her? They talk about the county has what they call storage fees. It's like, really? Thank you, Bill. I'm sorry. Can't see straight. Oh, Tink, I mean, I really wanted to. I honestly did. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it all falls on me. I was her next of kin, so I have to deal with all of her remaining bills and whatnot, and that's what I mean about it being so callous. That's all people care about. I'm struggling just trying to make sure that her final wishes are fulfilled, and you know, I mean, like her cats. She had 5 cats. They were her everything. She loved her cats. I'm not a cat person. What am I doing with them? I know, Pink. I'm just saying I really wanted to. Just when I sit here and I think about what she has gone through, what she did deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know, I mean, I know my health is not the greatest, you know, and I know what I've been dealing with, and she was far worse than me. Far worse. It just boggles the mind that she put up with it as long as she did. I mean, I can't imagine losing my leg or, you know, being mostly bedridden or chair ridden. I can't imagine that. And she put up with it for years. All right, Six Estate. Thanks for stopping in, man. You know, and I want to say thank you to definitely to Steve Pender as well. Um, for some of you probably don't know, but he at my request, because I can't bring myself to read it, but he read aloud Mom's obituary last night on his stream for me. and I had like cranked my volume all the way up and put my earbuds in and everything I could do to make sure that I could hear what he said. And I just had to close my eyes and listen. And I really appreciate him for doing that. To me, that was just a great sign of respect that he did. Oh, I'm sorry, Pink. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Hello, Ranger. There was people also, like I said it before, I'm just going to say it again. To those that have donated or just been there for me, I really appreciate it. Like Pink, for example, texting her late into the night and all that, just to have somebody to talk to. All right, Michigan. And Landley, she was there from the day it happened, just there to be there for me. And, man, so hard. You would think I would have been ready for it. It's like just one of those things you're not ready for. Steve, I just said that I was really grateful for what you did for me last night, and it was just a really great sign of respect, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, I know eventually it'll be okay. The problem is just getting there. I mean, I'm honestly like, I have to like sell whatever I can just to go and find a place I can exist until my disability kicks in of my own. They make it so hard. It's like I paid into freaking disability tax for years. I paid more in 1 year than a lot of people pay in 10. Hey, Biana, how you holding up? Yeah, that's, my kids. I think that might be. Oh, man, it's freaking hard. Huh, thanks, Ben. I'm trying, man. I really am. I'm trying to just go day to day, hour to hour, literally. I mean, I've like barely slept since it happened, and I've had a migraine since it happened, and I was so mad at that cop. I swear it was all I could do. I just did not go off. I mean, like literally, I was on the verge of just exploding. And then they just leave like it's nothing. Leave me standing there. I was like shell shocked. And she was so determined too. She really didn't want a big fuss over it. She didn't want a huge service or none of that. You know, she made sure to sign all the donor cards so that if anybody could be helped by her and that means that they do it. She was definitely, she wanted to help as much as she could. Yeah, Penn, I just wasn't not nearly as ready as I should have been. Not ready at all. Puts a whole lot of things into perspective, though. Hey, Angel, thought one of the hardest things was my kids and their mother having to tell them, "Hey, Michael." I must have cried for like the first 2 days straight. Angel, that's the kick in the ass, man. It's like, did I do enough? Is there anything I could have done that would have kept her here? I can't help but think, I know everybody says it was time she was done, and I can't, you know, I can't help but think if I could have done something different. Well, beyond, I'm sure I'll see you this weekend, and, man. Well, Lady Di, I wish it were that simple. Hey, Skyhawk, man, thanks. If anybody hasn't, no, it's not that simple. If anybody hasn't read it, her obituary's in the Democrat and Chronicle for Rochester, New York. So, Patricia King. Yeah, Penn, that's exactly right. I know, it's only a matter of time with me. With my heart the way it is, my doctors have already told me that. So, I'm just trying to do what I can, take care of things the way I can. until that happens. Yeah, well, Angel, I mean, I guess people can be more callous than others because uh, not that simple at all. I don't even know if I'd want it to be that simple. People need to be remembered. People need to be loved and remembered and respected. And, you know, people have gotten too callous these days. I mean, I don't know what everybody believes in, what their beliefs are as far as what comes next. I mean, I've been there. I died on the table, and they had to bring me back. So I keep telling myself I already know what's waiting for me, but to think about it being the same for my mom makes it that much worse. I can't believe how much all taking care of all this is. You know, it's amazing how much they charge just to lay your family member to rest. Hey, pajamas, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Steve Pinder's been really helping me out a lot too. He helped raise a fair amount of money to go towards all of her final expenses. And Steve knows how much I appreciate him for that. Israel, I can only hope so. Like I said, I mean, I'm hoping it's different for everybody else because I know what I saw when I died. Well, Ben, sounds great in theory, but there to be about two people there. Most of my family is on Long Island, and well, like 99.99% of my family is on Long Island. So, it wasn't bad, Angel. It wasn't good or bad. It was nothing. For 5 minutes and 24 seconds, it was nothing. That's what makes it so much harder. Yeah, Urban, isn't that sad though? It cost like $300 just to do the obituary. My sister covered that. I couldn't believe it when they said how much that was going to be. That's for a basic obituary pen. A small little picture and like less than 100 words. I couldn't believe it. Man. Rolling these nasty freaking cigarettes. Literally every penny I've been getting is going towards it. I'm rolling my own damn cigarette butts just to have something to smoke. No, my mother was not religious. Yeah, I mean, I sat there, I sat on the phone. Even Lanley was on the phone, and for days, calling every church, every charity, anything you could possibly think of to get help with all of her final expenses. I mean, it sucks to even have to worry about that crap, you know? But nothing, absolutely no help at all. Even the little life insurance plan she had, she got it when she had sepsis, and it was nothing major, one of those little Gerber Life things. Because it was less than 2 years, all they pay back is the premiums after taxes and that. That's literally all you get. Alright, Skyhog. She's not a veteran's wife, she's a veteran's ex-wife. She doesn't qualify for any of that. Yeah, I know Gen Z thinks it's just hard getting to that point, you know? The hard part is, I mean, I'm hoping it'll get a little easier after Sunday when we have our small service and people say their goodbyes and whatnot. I'm hoping it will start to get a little bit better. Hoping. I appreciate that, Ben. My father has since remarried and all that, though, so yeah, as far as any military benefits she may have gotten, you know, she's been divorced from my dad for over 20 years, over 20, oh God, over 30 years. So, yeah, she doesn't, and he's since remarried, all that. She doesn't qualify. My father is a veteran. I'm saying my mother and father got divorced over 30 years ago, and my dad has since remarried. So my mom doesn't qualify for any benefits she may have gotten with him being a veteran. But yes, my father was a Marine. So, I know, I'm just saying, I'm straightening out what happened. My father was a Marine. When he got back, you know, he and my mom, they did what they could to survive together, but, you know, most of you know my mother's a lesbian. So, you know, my father said, why don't you see if that's really what's in your heart and what you really want from a mate? And he kind of regretted saying that because my mom realized it really was who she was. So they divorced. I think I was 7 or 8, maybe 9. Thanks, food, please. 7 or 8 or 9 when they got divorced, something like that. But yeah, I mean, even Lan Lee was calling like all of my local area churches and everything. You know, hello, Teresa Preeb. Thanks, Aaron. I'm trying, man. Just trying to get through this week, you know, trying to get through her service. I got through the obituary thanks to Steve Binder, and that it's amazing how hard that was. I never would have imagined. But, you know, just got to get through this weekend. I got to try to take care of all of the hard stuff now, all of her affairs and my affairs, and, you know, it just is what it is. I have no issue with selling all of my possessions. That doesn't bother me. The hard part of selling them is like nobody wants them. Thank you, Teresa. Still getting over that stupid cold to top it all off. Yeah, I mean, it's put a lot into perspective. I've already called my PCP to make sure I'm going to redo my healthcare proxy and my conditional DNR, and I got to do the official power of attorney. It's like I've written down what I want, but it's not like stamped by a judge. It's just me writing it down on paper, which I know is still valid. But given what's been going on and the whole family member situation I've been dealing with, yeah, like I said, we weren't prepared for her. She never filled out a final will or any of that stuff. So, thank you, TLC. Yeah, Angel, that's what I'm gonna do. My ex, my children's mother, is she knows exactly what I want, and right now she's the one that would handle my affairs. I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to think about that as much as I know I have to. Lady Diana, my mother told everybody. My mother was a gay rights activist. She made sure the world knew. How dare I? Who are you to tell me what I say? My God, my mom walked around the 80s, 90s, all that, screaming gay rights. You gonna sit there and say that? Hey, dog. Thank you. See, if people like that think that's some kind of big secret that it's a problem. Yeah, Trump, hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be staying with a friend until I can get my disability going. Oh no, Lady Diana will not watch me again because I said my mother, who is a gay rights activist, is a lesbian. You damn sure are old if you think that way. My God, it's thinking like that that makes it a problem. Such bullshit. My mom was more than happy and proud to say it. Hey, Cece. I don't care if people have their own opinions, but don't push it on me. Don't tell me I'm wrong. My mother would stand in the middle of frickin' downtown Rochester in front of 100,000 people and say it. It's despicable thinking like that. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, you're right, Lanley. And one of the things to celebrate was the fact that she stood up for who she was. She did not hide it. She did not have a problem with it. She wanted to make the world a better place. She stood up for gay marriage, gay rights, all that. She walked around with the gay pride flag. She didn't care who knew. I hope anyone can take something away from that and know there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, like Furry. Furry's coming out video was one of the best videos I've ever seen on YouTube. And I've told her that 1,000 times. No, I didn't, CC, but if he wants to be a bigot, that's his choice. I don't, bigotry in my channel will not be tolerated. Absolutely not. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Absolutely nothing wrong with people if they choose to be, or not choose to be, because you don't choose that. That's something that you are. Hey, Chris, who openly, if they want to be open about themselves, that's their choice. My mom literally stood in downtown Rochester in front of 100,000 people and stood up for who she was. Every year, they would do. Yeah, I saw there was a stutter in the stream. I don't know why, but every year in Rochester they do a gay pride celebration and a parade and all that. And she would go. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it stuttered like it did. It didn't. I saw it went red for a second. Now it's back to green. Again, in case you missed it, I was saying hi to Chris H. and letting him know what happened with Mom because I didn't know if he'd been around. He's been busy. And we were talking about the fact that my mom had no issue with saying that she was a lesbian in front of the world. So, yeah, everybody is entitled to their own choice. Refresh, Chris. Alright, Trump. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I don't know why there was a stutter in the stream like that. That usually doesn't happen. Must have been something with the Spectrum servers. Anyways, Chris, welcome back. Thank you, James. I know you've been busy, Chris. Is glad to see that you're on, and unfortunately, under these circumstances, Mom passed away on Sunday. And I'm trying to figure out why my stream stuttered. It never does that. You guys still have me, right? Everything's still okay? I'm showing green light. I just saw that the viewers just dropped from 21 to 14, so. But, alright, thanks, Steve. And Steve definitely, thank you. He helped raise some money to go towards all of Mom's final expenses and whatnot. It's still to have to struggle with that, but I just want to make sure everybody knows Steve Pinder has been doing great trying to help me. I'm in Rochester, New York, Aaron. Oh, man. The hardest part, I think, is just the being alone all the time. I'm trapped in my thoughts. Landlady kept trying to get me to, just do a little live stream and talk about it, and I didn't think I'd be able to. It's just so hard. Yeah, I'm amazed we haven't had snow here yet. Normally by now we're blanketed. I'm telling you, the weather's changed. When I was a kid, we'd get storms that dropped 5, 6 feet. It was nothing. The last couple of years, we didn't get more than like 2 feet throughout the whole winter. Yeah, it's hard, James. I mean, I took care of her the last 6 years, but the last 2 years has been just full time, all the time, 24/7, taking care of her. Thanks, Batman. And the work I did before I started taking care of her full time, I can't do anymore because my health, my body, just can't do it anymore. Yeah, we've been getting down into like the 30s and 40s, but to me, I mean, I still had the windows open. Well, what made it really hard with Mommy? I mean, it would have been hard enough, but it was the fact that I spent every single day taking care of her. Yeah, Teresa, I mean, I'm not going to go into details, but suffice it to say, my sibling is not helping at all. So, there's a lady I call my sister. She's not my blood sister, but she's been in our family's life since I was like 3. So, I call her my sister. And she helped as much as she could. She paid for the obituary, and she was Mom's power of attorney because my mom didn't want me to have to make those decisions. I was her next of kin, but my sister was her power of attorney just in case those hard decisions needed to be made. And she's been helping amazingly, doing as much as she possibly can. And she's got her own life to live. I get that. She's got her own daughter, her own spouse, and she has her own life. But this past week, she's been amazing. So I mean, I know Wendy doesn't watch my stream at all, but I try to tell her how thankful I am for all that she's done. Thank you, Kat. It's good to see you. Yeah, I know, Aaron. It's just hard to get started in doing it. For the last week or so, my routine has just been trying to deal with all of the final issues and getting everything in order because I know I'm not going to be able to stay here anymore. I just can't do it. I can't afford it. Baby Love, yeah, I know her. The death benefit was $340, and it takes several weeks to process. I already filled out all the paperwork and all that for it. Yeah, I had a disability advocate that was supposed to be helping me, but I haven't been able to reach her in weeks. So I'm probably going to have to start the application all over. Yep. All the funeral, the cremation and viewing service, whatever you call it, and whatnot. That was over $3,300 just for that. And that doesn't count all of her final bills and everything. Thanks again, Teresa. I appreciate it. Alright, guys, I gotta go. I gotta help my neighbor real quick. She's having an issue with her dog, and I help her every day with the dog, so trying to, hey, it's something else to do. But I do appreciate everybody coming in, and if anybody can help on the GoFundMe, that's great. If not, I understand. I really appreciate it. So, I will be cremated too. But at any rate, I appreciate you all for coming in, talking to me, and just listening to me. So, I'll talk to everybody later. I might go back on again. I don't know yet. So, alright, guys.